Attention passionate Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC East and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Philadelphia Eagles' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Philadelphia Eagles fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with YOUR, FRINDS and Philadelphia, EAGLES FANS. Let's get to the news. Alright, Eagles fans, today we're diving deep into some of the latest buzz surrounding the team. And let me tell you, it's a mix of strategic moves, veteran additions, and some big questions about how the Eagles are shaping their roster for what promises to be another intense season. You know, Howie Roseman, the mastermind behind this team's front office, always has a trick up his sleeve. Sometimes he hits the jackpot, like when he acquired Saquon Barkley before the season last year, which turned out to be a game-changer. But other times, well, he's had his missteps, like that signing of Bryce Huff that didn't quite work out. But hey, nobody's perfect, right? The key is how quickly he can bounce back and adjust the strategy, especially on the defensive side of the ball, which is where a lot of the recent chatter has been focused. Now, let's set the scene here. The Eagles' defensive front was a major strength last season, but as we all know, the NFL is a league of constant change. The offseason, as usual, brought some significant losses. Josh Sweat, one of the most consistent pass rushers on the team, and Milton Williams, another key player, are now gone, having moved on to other opportunities or been priced out by the rising salary cap. Sweat, who led the Eagles in sacks last year with 8.5, was a force on the edge, and Williams, with 5 sacks, was quietly becoming a reliable contributor. Losing them isn't just about losing production, it's about the leadership and the depth that they provided. And with Brandon Graham, one of the most beloved veterans and a true leader in the locker room, retiring, the Eagles are now faced with a challenge. How do they replace that veteran presence and continue their relentless pass rush? This is where the big rumors start swirling, and one name that keeps popping up is Von Miller. Yes, the 8-time Pro Bowler, a legend in the league, who's been one of the most feared pass rushers of his generation. CBS Sports' John Breach recently highlighted the Eagles as a potential landing spot for Miller, and honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Imagine adding a future Hall of Famer to this already talented defensive line, not necessarily as a full-time starter, but as a situational rusher, especially in those critical third-down moments. That's exactly what the Eagles need right now. They don't need Miller to be the guy playing all 4 downs, but his presence on third down, his ability to rush the passer, and his veteran leadership could be invaluable. Think about it. Miller, who's been playing with the Buffalo Bills over the past 3 seasons, has shown that he still has plenty in the tank. He's not the same player he was at his peak when he was dominating in Denver, but he's still effective. Last season, he recorded 6 sacks, and the year before, 8. And while he hasn't made the Pro Bowl since 2019, he remains a player who can impact the game with his pass-rushing skills and his football IQ. At 36 years old, he's not a long-term solution, but in today's NFL, a 1-year deal for a veteran like Miller could be a perfect fit for the Eagles. It's a strategic move, adding experience, depth, and a mentor for the younger guys on the roster. And let's not forget, the Eagles have made some bold roster moves in recent years. Howie Roseman is known for his shrewdness in the trenches, always looking for ways to improve the team's front. Bringing in Miller on a short-term deal would be right in line with his philosophy. It's a low-risk, high-reward move. Plus, with the loss of Sweat and Milton Williams, who were both due for bigger roles this season, adding a seasoned veteran like Miller could help fill that gap without forcing the team to overpay for younger, unproven players. Now, some might ask, what about the salary cap? Well, that's a good question. Miller, given his age and recent production, wouldn't command a huge contract, especially if the Eagles approach it as a 1-year rental. And considering how much this defense relies on pressure from the edges, having someone like Miller who can step in during critical moments is a no-brainer. It's about maximizing the talent they already have, Nolan Smith Jr., Jalix Hunt, and others, by pairing them with a veteran who understands the game at a high level. And here's an interesting angle. Remember that Vic Fangio, the Eagles' defensive coordinator, was Miller's head coach in Denver. That familiarity could make this transition even smoother. Fangio knows exactly what Miller brings to the table, how to utilize him effectively, and how to incorporate him into the defensive schemes that have made the Eagles one of the top defenses in the league. Miller's experience in Fangio's defense could mean quick chemistry on the field, which is crucial given the Eagles' aspirations for another deep playoff run. Of course, some fans might wonder, is this the right move at this stage of Miller's career? Well, I'd say yes, if the goal is to add a piece that can contribute immediately, mentor the younger players, and give the team a little extra juice in those crunch moments. The Eagles, after all, have built a roster that's pretty balanced, but adding a veteran edge rusher could be that missing piece that pushes them over the top. Remember, the goal is not just to make the playoffs, but to go all the way, and sometimes, that little extra push from a seasoned pro can be the difference in close games. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture here. The NFC East is shaping up to be more competitive than ever. The Cowboys, Giants, and Washington Commanders have all made moves to bolster their rosters, and the Eagles know that they can't afford to sit still. They need to keep their edge, and adding someone like Von Miller could be a statement move, signaling that they're not just aiming to compete, they're aiming to dominate. This is a team that's been to the playoffs in each of the last 2 seasons, and with a few strategic additions, they could be even better. The defense, which has been a cornerstone of their success, needs to be deep, versatile, and disruptive, and Miller fits all those criteria. But of course, this is just one piece of the puzzle. The Eagles still have to figure out what they're doing with their overall roster, who steps up alongside Jalen Hurts on offense, and how they continue to develop their young stars like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, and Devonta Smith. The draft, free agency, and training camp will all play vital roles in shaping this team's trajectory. But one thing is clear, if Howie Roseman can pull off this move, it could be exactly the kind of strategic addition that elevates the Eagles from a good team to a true Super Bowl contender. And speaking of that, let's not forget that the Eagles are coming off an impressive season where they made it all the way to the NFC Championship game. They fell just short of the Super Bowl in a heartbreaker, but that experience, that hunger, will only fuel their motivation this year. The front office and coaching staff are well aware of what it takes to get over the hump, and I believe they're willing to make bold moves to get there. Bringing in a veteran like Miller, who's seen it all and still has something left in the tank, could be the final piece to that puzzle. So, in conclusion, Eagles fans, the buzz surrounding a potential signing of Von Miller is one that makes a lot of sense from every angle. It's about adding depth, experience, and a little bit of that championship-winning mentality that Miller brings to the table. It's about reinforcing a defense that's been a strength but can always get better. And it's about sending a message. Philadelphia is here to stay, and they're not just planning to participate in the postseason, they're planning to win it all. The NFC East is about to get even more exciting, and the Eagles are right at the heart of it, ready to make some noise. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Philadelphia Eagles news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now, Philadelphia Eagles fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Do you think Von Miller is the perfect addition for this team? Would you love to see him in midnight green, bringing that veteran presence and relentless pass rush? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Philadelphia Eagles. Remember, this team is a family, and your voice is a huge part of the conversation. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with even more updates, rumors, and analysis on everything Eagles. So stay tuned, keep the faith, and let's keep this passion burning bright. The season is almost here, and the Eagles are gearing up for another shot at glory. Thanks for watching, and as always, fly, Eagles, fly.